We are live.
Live Senate Appropriations, April 23rd. We're going to do one more bill today, H778, the dam safety bill. And we have Councilor Reed here to tell us about it. Tell us about the appropriation in it, which we think we're already covered in the budget, but just want to make sure.
Okay. This is Michael Grady with Legislative Council. After flooding in 2023 and other summers, there was concern about the safety of dams because during flooding, a couple of dams were close to failure or overlapping. And there was a report that was done, required by the General Assembly, to create a study committee on dam emergency operations planning, and we're to the General Assembly. It's a really good report. It's got a lot of great information in it. One of the things that it recommended is for purposes of creating emergency operations plans, and I'm going to talk to you about what the terms mean in a minute, that there should be a pilot project done by the state or by a contractor to develop these emergency operation plans for dams so that the state can understand what is needed in creating emergency operation plans, how much they cost, and how they could be implemented by municipalities, because municipalities are largely the entity that implements an emergency operation plan. So let's talk about what an emergency operation plan is. I gave you all a section by section summary of 778 as proposed for amendment by the Senate Natural Resources, and there's a page that has 3 definitions on it. An emergency action plan is a written plan that the dam owner creates to identify the region that would likely be inundated by the failure of a dam, and it identifies the actions that should be taken by the dam owner to protect life, property, lifelines, and the environment in case of a dam failure. So EAP is the dam owner. That's about what the dam owner does in order to either mitigate the potential failure of the dam, or if it is going to fail, what it needs to do, what the dam owner needs to do to protect life, property, and the environment. An emergency operations plan, an EOP, that's an ongoing plan prepared by local emergency managers and maintained by various jurisdictional levels who are responding to a wide variety of potential hazards. Well, what does that mean? That means it's your municipalities, it's your fire departments, it's your police departments, it's your local emergency preparedness officer. They're the ones that are supposed to create these EOPs, and it's a response-oriented plan that describes how people and property will be protected, details who is responsible for carrying out specific actions, identifies the personnel, equipment, facilities, supplies, and other resources available, and outlines how all actions will be coordinated. Well, partly where 778 arose from is a colleague of yours in the House who lived in one of the communities that was affected by flooding and affected by the potential dam failure, was going to the local emergency responders and saying, what would you have done? What were your duties? And they told him what they would have done, and they had a plan. But they also said, we don't have the money to keep this plan current. We don't have the money to keep this plan, the personnel, equipment, the heavy equipment, what would be necessary for rescues, evacuations, setting up temporary shelters, setting up temporary evacuation. They didn't have the money for that. But at the very initial point, they didn't have the money to do EOPs to the extent that they probably need to be done. And that's what this study committee said. Let's figure out what needs to be done for purposes of an EOP for municipalities, figure out what it's going to cost, figure out how to plan for EOPs for municipalities, but with the fiscal realities that are reality, the study committee said to focus on high hazard potential dams. And high hazard potential dams are dams where a failure or misoperation will probably cause loss of life. And they said to, kind of intuitively focus on those dams where the population at risk is higher. And where there is that high hazard. So that is effectively what came from the House. It was a request for a pilot project to be led by the Vermont Emergency Management Division to do 2 emergency operations plans for 2 state-owned high hazard dams. One will be with the population at risk of over 1,000 persons, and one will be the population at risk between 100 and less than 1,000 persons. And that pilot project will look at what it costs to do an EOP, how to do it, who you coordinate them, how do you plan for it, what are the contents of the plan, how to implement those plans at the municipal level. And in order to do that, the Emergency Management Division requested an appropriation, and DEC, who would be working in coordination with the emergency management, also requested an appropriation on this. And that's why the bill.
We ended up with we didn't do all this. Sarah Watson, do you remember what we did? This is requested $400,000.
Well, do you want to speak to that? I mean, I can.
I honestly don't know how much you appropriated.
So my recollection, so the bill asks for 250,000 for VEM and their Division of Emergency Management, and then 125,000 for what is it?
The 5625.
Which one?
No, it's 125.
There's.
Yep.
I'm looking at the section by section.
That it was 150 in the House. Oh, sorry, I apologize.
And that going to DEC because they're very much involved in helping to create this. And my recollection is that we had we had
And it's gonna fail.
0.3. Okay, I guess it's probably rounded to 0.38
It is, it's right here
Yeah.
on 9.
375.
because it's really 0.375. Yeah,
375 one time.
Right.
Okay.
rounded to 0.38.
Okay, and do we need to
I got it.
make an amendment to the bill? Or we can have the dollar amount is the same. We don't need to, we can have the appropriations treble as a budget in the bill. Okay. So we don't need it.
Because do you want me to walk through the bill?
No. Okay. It's the appropriations. We've already talked about it a little bit. It's mainly that money. I mean, you did walk through the money. And unless there's questions about the bill or a desire to go through a detailed walkthrough.
What do you hear about?
I don't see anybody running.
Okay.
Almost the bill favors me.
Okay. The bill has been moved in favor.
It's important.
I'm loving the efficiency. I heard you had a bad experience the last week.
Already set very low. He's scared.
Because you're going to record my vote. Senator Baru.
Yes. Or calling your name.
Recorded. Senator Brennan, yes. Senator Lyon.
Yes.
Senator Norris.
Yes.
Senator Watson.
Yes.
Senator Westman. Take that. Senator Pursley.
Yes.
Don't try that.
Yeah. 3/4.
I'll do it. I'm on it.
Great.
You know, so,
Thank you, Mike.
Great. Have a good day.
Thank you. Uh,
Can we go home now?
we can adjourn for today and tomorrow. We'll just have one bill. So we're gonna meet at 12:30.
Okay.
Is that possible for you, then?
You mean assuming the floor is done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we can, if we just have one bill, meet at 12:30 with committee.
No,
Is there anything
well,
on the floor tomorrow?
We're on the floor at 11:30, so I think you don't have more than an
I
hour.
think that, 1 second. Hold up, Jim.
But we can adjourn for today.